us now is Bjorn Rebney, who is the CEO of Bellator. Welcome to Cleveland. This is your first trip in, I understand.
It's my first trip in the last week, but I used to come in here all the time. I went to school in Athens at Ohio U. Used to drive up to Cleveland. It was the coolest place in the world, so I'm feeling like it's a bit of a second home.
I know that you were telling me during the break you are ecstatic over this card. It may be your best ever, you said.
Yeah, we've done over 70 events so far. We've been broadcast in 75 countries around the world. This is just stacked top to bottom. Jessica Evil Eye, a Cleveland native who's just one of the top female fighters in the world. Brian Rogers, who's a Cleveland guy who's just an incredible middleweight, but knocking people out for us. Eddie Alvarez, Shinya Aoki up at the top of the card, two of the best fighters in the world. Just top to bottom, great quality world-class fighters. It's probably the biggest MMA card ever to come to Cleveland, and we're bringing it here with our partners at MTV, so pretty exciting.
And MTV, tell us about that coverage.
Well, I mean, you're looking at close to 90 million homes are going to be reached in this country, and like I said, about 75 countries around the world, 3 million people watching down in Brazil. I mean, it's expanded and exploded over the last year and a half or so, and this card is really top level in terms of what we've done as a company. It's exciting to bring it here. There's still some tickets available, so just great to be here in Ohio. I was here at an event about a year and a half ago, and the crowd was just nuts. It was packed. It wasn't a big TV show, but man, the crowd was going bananas. They understood the game. They were having a blast, so that's when we made the decision, look, we got to bring one of our big shows here to Cleveland and just try to knock it out.
Bjorn, tell us about the Bellator company.
Bellator Company, we're in partnership with Viacom. We're on MTV now. We're moving over to Spike Network in about 8 months, which is really kind of the home, the creme de la creme of distribution for MMA content. We're the number 2 player in the space behind the UFC, and trying to gain on them every single week. We do a show. We do a show every week. We're tournament-based. Everything we do is objective. Fighters earn their right to fight for a title here. There's no matchmaker. Nobody's sitting in a shiny suit behind a desk deciding who fights who for what and when. You win, you move on. If Brian Rogers wins, he moves to the final of our tournament and he gets a shot at our world title. It's all about winning. It's just like every other sport you and I have been watching since we were kids. You win, you move on, you lose, you go home. So it's just a different format, but the growth has been spectacular. We got great partners, we got great TV partners, and we got incredible fan response like we're seeing here in Cleveland. So it's been a win-win-win of late.
Isn't it amazing, Bjorn, that mixed martial arts has taken over popularity-wise over boxing? And it has. I don't think there's any question about that now.
No, you're 100% right. It has absolutely dwarfed boxing in terms of those key indicators: ratings, attendance at live events, pay-per-view, buy rates, international licensing. It's just shut boxing down.
Why do you think that is?
I'll tell you why I think it is. If you watch 10 mixed martial arts fights, 9 out of the 10 are going to be exciting and visceral and explosive and give you great entertainment value for your dollar. If you watch the same 10 boxing events, 1 out of 10 will give you that kind of delivery on your return on investment for your dollar. It's just an exciting, explosive sport, and man, that 18 to 40-year-old male demo has just gravitated toward it over the last 5 to 6 years, thanks in large part to Spike and to what they've done. But man, it's just been this kind of electric tie based on the excitement and the explosiveness of this game. So,
just in a couple of months, we're going to be staging the Summer Olympics in London. Are you guys fighting to get this as an Olympic event?
Well, as you know, that is a long process. And whether you're talking about the girls who fly with those things in the air on the gymnastics thing, or whether you're talking about MMA, it takes a long time.
Very good.
So it's...
I don't even know what they call it.
I don't even know what they call it either.
Or synchronized swimming.
That's right.
They're beautiful to watch.
They are.
Going back to the Esther Williams days.
That's right.
But golf is coming in.
Sure.
Baseball went out.
Right.
Softball out.
Right.
So tell us, it brings us up to speed. I'm sure that mixed martial arts fighters all over the world would love to see it as an Olympic event.
They would love it. And the progression of fighters into an organization like Bellator or into an organization like the UFC is the greatest Taekwondo player, the greatest Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, world-class wrestlers, karate fighters, boxers. Everybody that does a combat sport has now gravitated toward mixed martial arts. So what it really is an opportunity to take all of those athletes who are competing in all of those fringe aspects of fighting and put them in one event at the Olympic Games where you could ultimately see who is the best fighter, governed by rules that have now been governing our sport in this country for 5 to 6 years. So there's unified rules. It is much safer than the perception might be. I think there's a long road to get there, but boy, does it deserve it. These are the greatest fighters on the face of the earth. in one cage, in one environment.
How many countries are participating now?
Oh man, there's 75 countries that are going to see our show coming from the IX Center on Friday. There's live events taking place as far away as Turkey and Azerbaijan to the UK and all throughout South and Central America. It has been embraced. It's such a scratch and sniff, easy sport to understand. Cricket, you and I watch it, we scratch our heads, we don't know what we're talking about. Soccer's never worked particularly well here. American football works in some environments, others it doesn't. Mixed martial arts fighting, it translates into every single culture, every single language around the world. Doesn't matter where you are. So the opportunity to make a transition into the Olympic Games seems as though it should be smoother than you might think.
Yeah, the combination with the wrestling too, I think, makes it very attractive too.
Sure.
Because you do have both you're combining the two sports.
Absolutely. You're combining the striking of boxing or karate fighting that we've been watching since we were kids with wrestling and jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai clinch fighting with the knees and elbows. I mean, it's got everything that we like in fighting.
And I've watched enough of your sport to realize some guys' forte is the wrestling aspect and other guys it's the boxing aspect.
Sure, absolutely. And styles make fights, as we've heard since we were kids. And sometimes the wrestler can overpower the boxer, and sometimes the boxer can knock out the wrestler.
Tell us about the workout tomorrow.
Workout tomorrow, Strong Style Gym. It's from 1 to 3. It's open to the public. There's going to be a lot of media there. Shinya Aoki's going to be there. Eddie Alvarez is going to be there. Brian Rogers, Jessica Evil Eye. A lot of the top fighters on this card are going to be there. They're going to be able to meet with fans. You're going to see them work out and see them interact with the media. Should be a great event.
And you chose Cleveland because of the interest shown in the past?
I chose Cleveland because, like I said, I came here to an event that was down right on the water about a year and a half ago, and the fans were having a blast. It was packed, probably 4,000 people. There were no TV cameras. MTV wasn't there. Spike wasn't there, but they were going nuts. And I said to myself when I saw it, man, I got to bring a big event with our partners at Viacom and MTV Networks back to Cleveland to deliver a big show, and we've done it.
Yeah, IX Center, now doors open, what, 6 o'clock?
Doors open at 6, first file going to the cage shortly thereafter.
And it'll be televised again.
It'll be televised live to almost 90 million homes on MTV2. The Spike.com stream runs before the televised show even starts, and like I said, 75 countries around the world.
Bjorn, run down this card again.
Well, up top, you got Eddie Alvarez versus Shinya Aoki, which is two of the greatest lightweights in the world. It's a rematch from a fight that took place in front of about 50,000 people in Japan 3 years ago, and if you're an MMA fan, you're salivating at that one. Brian Rogers is fighting Andre Sprang in a semifinal in our middleweight division, $100,000 prize at the end of that tunnel, a shot at our world title. Rogers is explosive and amazing. Jessica Evil Eye's on the card fighting Anita Rodriguez in a great women's fight, and she's a local favorite here in Cleveland. Rick Hahn, U.S. Olympian, is fighting on the show against Lloyd Cupcake Woodard in an amazing fight in our lightweight division. I could keep going for about 25 more minutes, but it's a packed card. It's one of the best we as a company have ever done. I'm blessed. I get to sit there cage side for free and watch it go right in front of me.
And once again, tickets are available. And how do the fans get their tickets to come and see it in person?
Literally, you can go to the box office. You can go to Bellator.com. There's a website attached to the IX Center where you can get tickets as well. There's still some tickets available, but thank goodness it's been selling like hotcakes.
And thank goodness for you bringing this great event to Cleveland, Bjorn. Thank you very much. Bjorn Rebney, and you can get those tickets, support mixed martial arts, and we'll take a break. We'll be right back. That's going to be good stuff Friday night. IX Center, doors open at 6.